Hello, a warm welcome to you to News Across Nigeria. I'm Olumide Macaulay. This is where we bring you news that traverses the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. And we begin in the northeast, in Borno State, to be exact, where over 4,000 Nigerians who were sacked from their homes by insurgents and fled the country to neighboring Cameroon have been repatriated back by the Cameroonian authorities. The refugees are mostly indigents of Borno and a few from Yobe State who are in Cameroon for over a year and were brought into Nigeria. Many are from Gombaru and Goza areas of Borno State, while a few of them from Buniyadi in Yobe. The deportees were handed over to the Nigerian army in Mubi, Adamawa State, where they are now being camped in an abandoned burnt bricks factory in Mubi. The commanding officer, 117 Task Force Battalion, 23 Task Force Brigade, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Abubakar Sadiq, who received the deportees in Mubi, Adamawa State, said the military is working with NEMA to make them more comfortable. Meanwhile, it's hoped that the Adamawa State government will liaise with its Borno and Yobe State counterparts to settle the returnee IDPs.
Presently at this camp we have about 704 women, precisely, 464 adult men, and about 1,880 underage. From the little resources of the battalion, thank God we have the headquarters of the Task Force located here. The commander of the brigade, Victor Isbu, has been so magnanimous, so helpful within his meager resources. And the community, particularly the Emir of Mubi, have been assisting them. Though as at this morning we received about 5 bags of rice from the NEMA official from Europe. Basically, I have not seen the direct involvement of the state government as of now.
From there to the Federal Capital Territory, but staying with issues of security, the Senate has begun the screening of the service chiefs, and it's being done behind closed doors at the National Assembly in the nation's capital, Abuja. Those being screened are the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Olonishakin, Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tukur Buratai, Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, and Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar. The screening, which was earlier scheduled for Thursday, July the 30th, as announced by the Senate President, was postponed till today, following a letter submitted to the Senate by the security chiefs indicating their inability to appear before the lawmakers at that time. President Muhammadu Buhari had written to the Senate requesting for the lawmakers to be screen and confirm the service chiefs. Now, lawmakers outside Nigeria, their counterparts in the United States, had a meeting with Nigerian officials. The bilateral relations between Nigeria and the United States is yielding results in these areas. The U.S. has begun a process of lifting restrictions on arms shipments to Nigeria. A delegation from the United States Congress revealed during a visit to the military headquarters authorities in Abuja yesterday that the decision was part of efforts by the U.S. to enhance cooperation between the two countries in tackling insurgency. Our correspondent, Gloria Umezoke, reports.
At the height of the Boko Haram insurgency, which forcefully captured strategic cities in the north, rendering many children homeless, orphaned, and hungry, Nigeria began seeking support both from neighboring countries and internationally. But the situation, which seemed almost surreal, continued unabated. On the basis of a number of allegations bordering on human rights as enshrined under the Leahy law, the U.S. refused to sell weapons to the Nigerian military. Almost 2 weeks after President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to the United States, it appears Nigeria will begin to count its gains. A delegation from the U.S. Congress visited the defense headquarters with positive news.
The process has begun to lift restrictions under Leahy, but let's understand the vast majority of support the United States provides and will be provided regardless of those. Our technical support, our training, and much of the equipment we supply has never stopped and will continue. But we are looking with the President, with the new General Staff, to work to make sure that the people of Nigeria can have a confidence in the professionalism of the military, something that people rely on when the military is trying to clear insurgents and protect the civilians. But it also takes securing communities, providing an environment in which people trust the government and no longer trust that which has been overseeing them for so long.
The delegation met with the chiefs of Army Staff, Naval, Defense and Air Staff in a closed-door meeting.
Also, the issue of human rights. They are pleased with the discussions, and we hope that at least we'll continue to build on this. Gaps that have been created before have been identified, and are definitely going to work on them.
The military promised to address pending issues with the U.S. to gain strategic weapons to wipe out the Boko Haram insurgency by the end of 2015. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Now from there, we are going to our next part of the country, and this is the Kano State area. The Kano State government says it's determined to ensure safe delivery of pregnant women as well as healthy children. To this end, the state government has flagged off the 2015 Pregnant Women and Children Health Week, an initiative targeted towards the treatment of malnutrition and pregnancy-related diseases.
According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Nigeria loses about 2,300 children under 5 years old and 145 women of childbearing age daily. This makes the country the second largest contributor to the under 5 and maternal mortality rates in the world. It is in view of this that the Kano State government, in collaboration with other donor agencies, set aside this week as a health week for free medical assistance to mothers and their children.
It is our belief that we have sent polio packing in Kano, but it is still not time for celebration. We need to maintain the tempo, we need to maintain the momentum, we need to maintain the effort and the contribution and the collaboration for the next 2 years to be able to get the certification of eradication from the global authorities.
In the meantime, the Federal Ministry of Health says the northern Nigeria has worse cases of malnutrition and mother-to-child related diseases and requires speedy intervention.
The figures we have, as far as the malnutrition is concerned in this nation, is quite worrisome. And so the Federal Ministry of Health, the federal government, is quite worried about what the figures are bringing up, especially when you look at the stunting rate and the underweight of our children in Nigeria. Particularly the northeast and the northwest are not doing very well.
In Kano State alone, the Clinton Health Access Initiative says 1,000 out of 100,000 women die during or after childbirth owing to pregnancy-related diseases.
Nigeria generally, Kano had the highest. So in Nigeria, the average is lower, it's like 600-700, but Kano had the highest in the country.
During this week, treatments are expected to be conducted in all the 44 local government areas and 1,300 health centers across the state. It is hoped that this initiative would help in reducing child and maternal mortality rates, particularly in Kano State.
You're watching News Across Nigeria, where we bring you news items from across the country, from the north to the south, the east to the west. Stay with us. After the break, the South-South, as the River State government, officers of the Road Traffic Management Authority, take their case to the Institute of Human Rights. We'll tell you why when we return. Stay with us.